Hello and welcome to the video. This is a quick video, an overview really of the ETHOS system. Now ETHOS is what the latest FreeSky radios are running. This is the latest X18S. This is a dual band radio, can talk 2.4 and also on the lower frequencies, 915 and 868. And there's even receivers that will actually talk to both at the same time as well, which is kind of a super diversity. But I don't really want to get into that today. Really want to talk more about the ETHOS operating system. Now, lots of other radios that I've looked at on the channel use either OpenTX or EdgeTX or something like that. And this ETHOS system is one that lots of people have been in touch with me about, asking me to make videos on it. Because for those pilots who find that Open and EdgeTX are too overwhelming, it appears that ETHOS is an awful lot more intuitive to get around. Although it's been out for a little while, ETHOS is only on version 1.2.11 as I'm making this video. And I did a video recently where I updated the radio, this particular one, to the latest and greatest before I did this bit. And I'm very interested to find out what is in here, what comes out of the box, because the fact that it's only version 1.2 means that it's a relatively new operating system. So how sophisticated is it, and how much of the twiddly bits that you tend to find in systems that have been around for a while are actually in here now? So for navigation, I'm going to use the actual touchscreen on this. The touchscreen itself is very handy. It works nicely, and there is a nice area around each icon for you to accurately pick them up. So let's very quickly go through the menus. The main thing to take note of here is I am going to be navigating using the touchscreen, which once you get used to it is incredibly intuitive and very, very easy to use. You can also use the buttons in the bottom left-hand corners of the radio that has system, model and display, and they kind of correspond to each of the pieces up here. And what you can see at the bottom is these four little icons at the bottom are your kind of key ones for getting into the main parts of the radio. The home screen is this one here. This is kind of your telemetry screen, if you want to think of it like the OpenTX and EdgeTX users out there. This allows you to put things like your bitmap and your timers, and you can add extra ones to go into as well. The next icon across is the model icon. You can actually change your model from in here, but also you've got your ability to edit your model, flight modes, set your mixer up, the outputs, timers, trims, and the RF system. Things like your telemetry set up here, adding things like a checklist so you can be warned of things before you go and fly. Set up logical switches and special functions, curves, and also set up any trainer and device config stuff that you need. Lots of that will feel very familiar if you are coming from Edge or OpenTX. Next one then allows you to set up your individual telemetry screens so you can decide what you want, where you want it. Again, very intuitive navigation in this. And finally, the cog is like your radio menu, your radio setup. And you have file manager, alerts, time information, general stuff, battery, hardware, sticks, wireless, and info. Now, this video is being made with ETHOS 1.2.11 EU. So this is the latest as I'm recording it, and I'll take you through some of the basics with this, because this is a very easy to use operating system, but I think with it only being 1.2, I think there's an awful lot of extra things that FreeSky could potentially add. So let's go and choose a model. So these are the ones that I've got set up. By default, it came with one called Test, and I've set up one it's called VTail, Quad, and others. Let's add another model. Now, just out of interest, let's add an airplane. We can decide what we want, but let's go for airplane. Click the next, and then it'll ask us how many engines we have, or motors, and we can go from 1, 2, 3, or 4. Beautiful little image here that shows you exactly what it is, or you can turn the engine off completely. We're going to go for 1. Now you can either navigate your way through by holding and dragging it down, which is very intuitive, or if you click on it, you get like a little menu and it'll allow you to click on the one that you want. So we've set that up. Then it allows us to set the aileron and flaps. We can choose how many channels we want for the ailerons, whether or not we want flaps, and it dynamically changes the picture above so that you just match that to what you have on the model. Very intuitive indeed. And then we can have a V-tail, or we can have a traditional tail. We can do whatever we want with those. There we go. And then go next. Gives you a little picture and even allows you to select multiple elevator and multiple rudder channels if you have a split elevator like this. Really, really clever stuff. It saves a lot of messing about. And then we can give it a name. Let's call it test again. Hit enter. We can pick a picture. You can add your own pictures just by plugging this into the computer and put them on the card in the right format. We'll just put, let's go for extra. And there we have it. The model is now set up. Now, in order to actually change things, then we go into the model menu. And then if we want to change anything after the fact, maybe we realize that the aileron's single channel, you can do it from in here. And we have lots of settings of how everything is going to work, including some of the things like the lures setup as well. Flight modes, surprise, surprise, works exactly the same. Flight modes, though, in terms of the settings in here, we're really only looking at things like trims and when the active condition comes in. Active condition just means whether or not it's activated by either a switch or a system event. Then we have things like the mixer. The mixer beautifully shows you which channels everything's on. So the ailerons are on channel 1 and 5, so that's where we're going to plug those servos in if you're setting up a plane. Elevators is 2, throttle is 3, and rudders are 4. So this has by default gone to an AETR layout, with the extra aileron channel being added to channel 5 and the flaps being added to channel 6. Very neat. And then we have the ability to look at the outputs. And then we have the ability to look at the outputs. If we go into outputs here, as I move the throttle, you can see everything moving around. You can kind of see it. And it also nicely gives you exactly the position of all of those channels on the right hand side. And we can scroll across. There's an awful lot of channels for you to use. Next one then is timers. You can decide how you set them up. Each of them, again, if you just click on them, allows you to edit them and to reset them and do other things, whether or not they count up or down, whether or not there's a beep, which is what the radio is currently doing for the model that's currently running, how it starts. Really, really nicely laid out. Super simple. How your trims work, what the RS system is set to, both the internal and the external module. You can turn it on and off in here. Interestingly, if we go into the external stuff, then in terms of what it talks to, it's only really all of the FrSky stuff. The only kind of generic one is PPM, which nobody really uses anymore, which unfortunately does mean that right now there isn't things like support for CRSF, which is a bit of a shame, really. We can set the telemetry up, we can discover new sensors just like we would in Edge and Open, add a checklist. Logical switches work in very similar ways, so you can create a switch that's maybe from telemetry or from something else, an event happening inside the radio, that you can be used in your mixes as though it was a physical switch that's actually been flicked. Then we have special functions, curves, trainer, and device config. Device config is more like your sensor stuff, so your airspeed sensors, your variometers, things like your XR calibration, things like that. That is all of the things that you can do with something like a plane. Now, interestingly, setting up something like a glider, for example, let's move to the glider. If you go in and you look at here, there aren't any specific things for the model. You'll notice that the glider stuff is pretty much exactly the same as a other fixed wing. One thing it took me a little while to discover was by pressing the plus button here on the mixer, you can get access to a number of different mixes, and one of them is that butterfly function that we saw when we updated the radio. Fortunately, in here isn't all of the others that I would expect to see for a glider. Other thing that I'll do, let's create another model actually. Let's go back into model select and let's create a brand new model again. Let's create a multi-rotor. Now this time it gives you the option for what your channel order needs to be. So it's setting me up as TAER. Really odd choice because most of us are going to want aileron, which is roll, would be channel 1. And again, you can just move them around. Elevator be channel 2. Throttle be channel 3. And channel 4 be yaw. AETR is a much more common layout. It's odd that it doesn't default to that. Then we can change, give it a name. Quad 2. We can change the picture if we really wanted to. If you don't use a picture though, it kind of gives you a generic icon for it. If we go into the model setup, now we have the option edit model, flight modes, mixers, outputs, timers, trims, RF system, telemetry, checklist. It kind of looks the same. Interestingly though, it has done an extra thing. So if we look in things like your mixer, you can see that it's now done AETR, which is the way that I wanted it, which I think the operating system should default to. That's kind of the default for pretty much everything these days. But it has given me one extra thing, a flight mode on auxiliary 1 or channel 5, as Betaflight and iNav and other pilots will know it. It's not assigned to anything. If you click it on here, you can, if you click on it again, we can actually add some kind of switch into it so we can decide what's going to turn it on and off. But normally I would expect something like a multi-rotor setup to give me AETR as the defaults, channel 5 or auxiliary 1 be an arming switch, and then give me the mode switch in the next thing. So it sounds like whoever's setting this up in ETHOS isn't a big Betaflight or iNav user. So that was a quick tour of the ETHOS system. I tend to find that the touchscreen and the navigation is incredibly easy and very intuitive. And within 5 minutes of messing around with the radio, once you realize that the 4 icons at the bottom are kind of doing what these buttons down here do, it's really, really quick and easy to navigate. And the navigation is pretty good most of the time. Occasionally I'll press it and I won't be pressing exactly the right place, but 95% of the time I'm kind of getting away with perfect positioning, even with my stubby fingers. There are a couple of things though that it's clear that is missing. At the beginning I talked about the fact that I wanted to see how much stuff was in here and whether or not some of that twiggly bits were. Now FrSky have been in the radio business for a long time. It's pretty clear that they're kind of finding their way with ETHOS, and the fact that it's only version 1.2.11 as I'm making the video does mean that some parts of it are a little bit more basic than I want. I think there are definitely some improvements that can be made to all of the model setup wizards. Definitely things like the multi-rotor. Channel 5 should be arming, channel 6 should be modes, and it should give you the option to assign those to switches as you do that. Potentially in future, giving you the option to add things like a buzzer switch and pre-arm and those kind of things would be great. If you're a glider pilot, then there's quite a few things that are missing. Crow, reflex, braking, all of those things that slope soarers and glider pilots use. If you have an option to set up a glider, then that stuff should be in here. Similarly with fixed wing, how all that stuff works, adding things like a safety switch, like a throttle disable, should be basic. It should be part of the wizard. But I'm sure all that is coming. I'm feeding all of this back to FrSky to let them know the stuff that I'm finding, and hopefully that will help. I'm sure most of that stuff is already well into development. But hopefully for those of you that were kind of interested to see what the ETHOS system was actually like, that's been useful. Definitely, if you are a pilot that is struggling with radios with Open and EdgeTX just because it feels too complicated, ETHOS is definitely easier to navigate, understand, get around and set your models up in. However, at the moment, it does mean that unless you want more than just the basics, you are going to have to get into the weeds of the setup pretty quickly in order for those extra pieces that are currently missing in the wizards. Thank you for spending your time today watching that video. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you're trying to learn about a subject, then check out the playlist. All of my videos are organized into easy to follow playlists that if you're trying to learn a topic will take you from the basics right the way through to some pretty advanced stuff.